What's up, everybody? And thanks again for tuning in to Bourbon Sips and Fantasy Football Tips. You see two people on the screen today. We brought the main man, the Matty Daddy, in to talk some football today. Matty, how you doing, man?
Oh, Bourbon Sips, Football Tips. I'm ready to rock and roll, baby. Bounce back players. You got me hype on that intro. Let's get going.
Yeah, look, the NFL does their comeback player of the year, right? They wait till the end of the year to tell you. They almost cheat. We're not doing that. We're telling you who that comeback player is. We're telling you who that bounce back player is before the season starts, so you can go get them on your Dynasty team and when you want them belts back there, baby.
Woo!
Yeah, all right. So, Matty, so bring us in. Who's your first comeback or bounce back player of the year, man?
Absolutely, man. I think it's a guy who gets disrespected in fantasy circles, regardless of what he does in real life. We're playing fantasy football, and we've seen how much the quarterback position is a fickle bitch. We've seen these QB2s. Everybody's got upside, but everybody's not Josh Allen. You have your Sam Darnolds, your Baker Mayfields. You want consistency, and I think this is a player that's often overlooked. Famous Jameis, baby. Finger licking good. We're talking Jameis Winston last year. No receivers, had the knee injury, but he's an unrestricted free agent. And what did he do last year in New Orleans with no receivers? 19 points per game, highest touchdown rate and lowest interception rate of his career. You look at what he does, and you look at his situation. Free agent. You have all these teams with high-powered offenses that need a quarterback. This is your perfect bridge gap quarterback. You saw in Tampa Bay QB2 production almost every year, plus that one miracle year in 2019. QB4. So to me, at quarterback, this is a bounce back for the daddy.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And you hear rumors all over the place. And look, I live not too far from Pittsburgh. I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm a Browns fan. But I'm going to tell you, from a fantasy football perspective, if he ends up in Pittsburgh, Deontay Johnson to the moon, Pat Freiermuth to the moon, Chase Claypool to the moon. You think those guys produced with Ben the last couple years? They're going to blow that shit out of the water. So I love that. He's a guy you can get super cheap right now, and he's a guy you should probably take that shot on, right? So
absolutely.
I love it. All right. My first guy is the wide receiver 79. The wide receiver 79. And he played the majority of the season. That's pretty pathetic, right? You say, Brad, how the hell are you going to tell me you want almost the 80th receiver off the board? You want me to add him to your team? Yes, I do. This guy is Kenny Golladay, wide receiver for the New York Giants. And look, here's the deal. It was a rough year. It was a real rough year, and I get it. I totally get it. First season in with Daniel Jones, New York Giants. Here's the benefit. Brian DeBall. If nobody knows about Brian DeBall, just look at Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs the last 2 years. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is the next Josh Allen, just like you said Jameis isn't the next Josh Allen. But here's the deal. Go back and watch Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay was not the problem last year. Kenny Golladay had an excellent game against Marshawn Lattimore, one of the best corners in the league in New Orleans in week 4, put up over 100 yards, and he dominated Marshawn Lattimore in that game. You look at what he did with Washington and William Jackson III. He only went 3 for 8, but 3 of those incompletions were just bad passes from Daniel Jones. So now you're just hoping that Brian DeBall can come in. He can maybe fix Daniel Jones just a little bit, and you get that glimmer of what Kenny Golladay was when he was healthy in Detroit. And at the wide receiver 79 kind of price, where you can draft him in the 13th, 14th round of a startup draft, it's a smash play, in my opinion. So what do you think about Kenny G?
Well, I think you look at this offense, you look at you play to Daniel Jones' strength. He's not a check down quarterback. This guy throws the deep ball. So if you have a healthy Kenny G, he is that touchdown target. So Giants have an early pick. I could see them definitely taking an offensive lineman, especially in a draft that's stacked with offensive line. To me, this is a value, like you said, 13 round. What is going on? This could be the focal point, the wide receiver 1 on this offense. I'm loving it.
I love it. All right. So we've both given our firsts. Who's your second guy?
Dude, like you said, receiver value. Kenny Golladay, 13th round, another guy I think's being a little disrespected. Yeah, it's Dynasty. I get the age point. 29 years young isn't what it used to be. But I'm nuking them, baby. NewHopkins on the Arizona Cardinals. You look at this offense heading into this season, you have all these free agents. Ertz, Kirk, you name him, Connor, anybody and everybody is out. But the focal point of this offense and has always been is NewHopkins. You've seen 9 out of 10 games. He had over 14.7 fantasy points last year. It wasn't like this huge drop-off. Battled injuries. You're connected to Kyler in this high-powered, pass-heavy offense. Before this, he was 4 straight years of top 5 wide receiver production. To me, I'm getting the value. You see him going in the 8th, 9th of most Dynasty startups. To me, man, but hit the owner up. Ask how much Nuke is. Am I saying trade a top 6 rookie pick? No. But if you can get maybe a 201 and a veteran receiver, something like that, now's the time to get in on this guy if you're competing.
I love it. I love it. And look, I think a lot of the concern around Nuke right now is all this nonsense with Kyler Murray, right? He's unfollowing the Arizona Cardinals and all that. Look, I talked about this before. That's a whole lot of crock of shit. It doesn't mean a damn thing. The guy is going into his 4th year. They're probably going to pick up his 5th-year option. He's balled out for 2 years in a row. He just wants some security. He wants some financial assurance for his future. You can't blame that guy for that. You don't know what conversations have happened behind closed doors that they've had. Maybe they indicated they weren't planning on paying him right now. So he's saying, you know what, I'm putting at least the message out there that I'm unhappy about the situation. I think I should be paid. But look, this kid's not going back to baseball. He's not leaving football. He's not leaving Arizona. Like, that's nonsense. So to think that you're knocking Nuke's value down for that is nonsense. So I love it. I think it's a great call. And like you said, he's top 5. How many years in a row now? Like,
he was a startup top 12 Dynasty receiver last year. Now he's going outside the top 30. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Any sense at all. Look, wide receiver seems to be the game today. That's it. And I'm going again with a guy who, look, he's probably like wide receiver 130, maybe even lower than that. This is a guy that played 5 games and had 6 catches. 6 catches. I might be drinking too much, Matt. This is shit. I'm going Curtis Samuel, wide receiver for the Washington football team. All right. I will confess, I do have a love for Curtis Samuel. League that I joined you in 3 or 4 years ago, he was my first acquisition. He was the guy I wanted to get on my team. This guy is excellent at football, but he came into the season with a groin injury, and it just derailed his entire season. Not to mention the fact that we all love Terry McLaurin. Everybody thinks Terry McLaurin was good, but he didn't look that great last year either because of the quarterback play of the Washington football team, now Washington Commanders. Sorry, Andy. So I think healthy offseason coming in. Again, another guy you're getting in like the 14th round, 15th round of a startup draft. That's a smash. This is a guy who's given you wide receiver 2 production over the course of the last couple seasons before when he was in Carolina, the last 2 seasons in Carolina. So I think you could see a lot of that production. And if you're getting wide receiver 2 value in the 14th or 15th round, that's just a smash play in my book.
Well, and I think you hit on it. He finished as a wide receiver 2 the last year he played a full season in Carolina. And let's just say they don't get another quarterback. Say they stick with Taylor Heineke, who's pretty much fucking terrible. But if they stick with him, Heineke can't throw the deep ball. So what does that do? If Samuel's on the field, he's going to get fed. So I think he's just that perfect situation that the quarterback improves. You're still going to have a pass-heavy offense regardless.
Yeah, and there's a couple quick things. J.D. McKissick, free agent, right? Adam Humphries was their second wide receiver. Like, these things really play into Curtis Samuel's favor coming into the season. And as long as he can stay healthy, I think it's going to be a smash for sure.
Yeah, so, I think the late value, man, those are locks, baby.
Yep. He got paid $334 million. So he's playing.
Baby. You see it up there. Hit it.
All right. Thanks, Matt, for joining us. Hey, I'm going to raise my glass to you, man, sipping on a little bit of Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Stay tuned because we're going to talk that after Matt leaves us. Thanks again. If you need him, where can they find you at, Matt?
Baby, at Matty Daddy Presents on YouTube. Check out the channel. Like my background, it's hot fire. And I'm Matty Daddy, at Matty Daddy FF on Twitter. DM's always open. Ooh, thanks, Brad.
Yeah, and when he says fire, he means legitimate fire. This dude puts out some badass content. Please get out there and follow him again. That's at Matty Daddy on Twitter or Matty Daddy Presents on YouTube. With all else, cheers, fellas.